everybody, and welcome back to the Bay Bulls channel for another episode of Quick Strike, where today we're talking about yet another Tampa Bay Lightning Stanley Cup final victory as the Lightning defeat the Montreal Canadiens by a final score of 3-1 in game number 2. As always, my name is Jake Ricker, alongside my good friend and co-host Michael Wax. Michael, you were in the building for game number 2. How you feeling after this Lightning victory?
I'm very tired. It was an amazing atmosphere. Tampa Bay, I really think, does it like no other. And I take that from someone who's only been to Tampa Bay, but it was incredible pre-game, incredible atmosphere overall. And unfortunately for us, we got to see a win. The process really wasn't there, but the result was. And so we're gonna get into that.
Yeah, so let's break this down period by period. Looking at the first period, we go into this one, and I think the Lightning played pretty well in the first period for the most part. Both teams kind of had their chances, had good opportunities. Both goaltenders, Vasi and Price, were making a lot of good saves early on. You come out of the first period with no score, so it was 0-0 after the first 20 minutes. Montreal was out shooting the Bolts, which was probably the biggest red flag coming out of that first period, but both teams did get a few chances, and both had good looks, and you had to be happy with that because you knew this was going to be a much tighter game than it was in game number one. But tied 0-0, it's never really a bad thing because you just don't want to be down.
Yeah, absolutely. The big thing for the Lightning was they didn't give up the first goal. And you knew that if the Lightning got the first goal, they would play very well throughout the rest of the game, or at least that's the thought process. We'll get to that later in the second period. But the Lightning, when they get that first goal, they really dictate play, they really play their style. One thing that I was really concerned about with the Lightning was they changed their offensive philosophy. In game one, it was all about rush opportunities. They believe they scored 3 of the 5 goals on rush opportunities, and that really put the game out of reach. And then they really started to play a more offensive zone style. Today was more chip and chase. There's only a couple of lines that can actually do that effectively. The Gord line, that is their bread and butter. They love the chip and chase because they have no problem hitting you in order to get the puck back. It's not everybody's style. And so I think in the first period and throughout the game, Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov, Andre Palat, they really got taken to another level in this game. And that is a huge credit to the first line of the Montreal Canadiens, who just shut them down. And we don't normally say that about a line consisting of Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov, and Andre Palat getting shut down, especially when one of them score in this game. But they got shut down, and it was especially evident in the first period. So huge credit to Montreal. They played a decent first period as well, and then they really turned it on in the second.
Yeah, both teams I think played well in the first. Lightning did have a couple power play opportunities too as well in the first period. Power play struggled early. It got better and better as this game went on. They never scored on the power play. I think having Joel Armia back was a huge boost for the Canadians as well. He definitely helped out on the penalty kill, despite the Lightning do getting some good looks later in this game. But let's talk about the second period. So second period comes around, you're tied 0-0. And I think Montreal started to play really well. This is where they got a lot of good opportunities. They were shutting down the Bolts, not giving them many opportunities. Despite that, though, the Lightning were the ones that would score first as Anthony Cirelli takes a blast from the point, and I'm not sure if it was deflected in front, if it hit a Canadians player. I thought it hit Rude's stick at first, but nonetheless, it's a shot from Cirelli from the point that goes in the back of the net. It beats Carey Price, and just like that, the Lightning have a 1-0 lead, and they only had 2 losses when scoring first in these postseasons. So things were looking really good for them, and the momentum definitely built up to for them right then and there. But just a couple minutes later, actually, the Canadians would tie it on a similar play, where this time it was Nick Suzuki who took a shot from the point. It was kind of a backhanded shot. It kind of just rolled through. I think Vasi would like to have this one back, but the puck rolls through his 5-hole, and the Canadians have this game tied at 1. So, I think that took the wind out of the sails a little bit for the Lightning after they just got that big goal to go up 1-0, and now you're tied at 1. And then basically from here on out, this is where I think you really noticed Montreal turning it up. They had chance after chance. Vasi shined very bright in this second period, made a ton of great saves, and it was all Montreal for a long part of this. And you get down to the final minute, final 30 seconds, final 10 seconds, and you're thinking, all right, we're going into the third period tied at one. Montreal has to be feeling good about themselves in this situation. But then, Michael, I think it's the greatest goal in Lightning franchise history for when it comes to Stanley Cup final games. Eh, Barclay Goodrow makes a pass to himself in the zone with under 10 seconds to go, and he throws it across to Blake Coleman, who, for the third time in his career, makes a diving shot, kind of remnants of the Bobby Orr kind of play, leaping into the air, and puts it into the back of the net. There was zero point 0.3 seconds left on the clock. There was technically 1 second after they went back and looked at it, but holy cow, what a goal. Outside of Amalie Arena went crazy. Inside of Amalie Arena went crazy. That was a deflating goal for the Montreal Canadiens and a huge goal for the Lightning, who did not play the best in the second period, but still come up 2-1.
That period was so weird. I'm going to start with the Sorelli goal because that was the first goal that was scored in the game. And one of the things that I don't think we talked about that much so far in this video is that Alex Cohen did not play in this game. And that was because of his injury last game where he took the shot off what it was, the ankle or the foot or whatever, and he's day to day still. Tyler Johnson did a pretty admirable job on the second line, and he was a huge part of why this play worked. The fact that Anthony Sorelli was up top means that one of the defensemen went into the middle of the zone, which is, again, something you don't normally see out of the Lightning. Their defensemen have been a lot more active in these playoffs. And it was just a straight shot that beat Carey Price. So I think that's one that Price wants to have back. And then you similarly go to a couple of minutes later when Nick Suzuki scores 43 shots against. That's the one that beats Vasilevsky. I think he'd like to have that one back because
Oh,
I know it got double deflected, but boy, that shot looked bad when you looked at it from the replay.
well, you could see Vasi too just put his head in the air, and he knew that was a tough one, and it's a rare
And
one from Vasi.
and when he does that, you have an idea that he's not going to allow another one. He did that against Carolina in Game 4 when he allowed the shot off the boards to go, but basically between himself, his shoulder, and the bar, like this much space. And he was like, "All right, I'm not going to allow another one." So he did it again in this game, and we'll get to him and his spectacular play in the third period. And then the Coleman goal, I think it's a stretch to say it's the best goal in Lightning Stanley Cup Finals history. We do have Marty St. Louis to
Sure.
thank for Game 7 in Tampa Bay.
It's definitely up there.
It's up there. It's definitely gives credence to every single thing we talked about with Blake Coleman and Barclay Goodrow not being overpaid at the trade deadline.
I would have given up 4 first-round picks for this.
I would have given up everything for them. Well, they did give up 4 first round picks.
Well,
So
I meant 4 for one guy, 4 for each. I'd given up 8 first
yeah,
round picks in total.
yeah. It's one of the craziest goals we've ever seen. And at one point I was just like, yeah, he's done it before. So like, I'm not really surprised. Blake Coleman's awesome. I know he might not come back this after this season, but again, that's off-season talk. For right now, he helped the Lightning get a lead in a period they did not deserve the lead.
Yeah, he did. It was a quite amazing goal. Let me know in the comments down below where you would rank this goal in Lightning. Let's just say Stanley Cup Finals goals. Let me know where you would put this one. I'm going to put it at number 3, just because obviously number 1 has to be Fedotenko's game-winning goal to win the Stanley Cup, essentially. Because I mean, why not? The first Stanley Cup franchise history. I think number 2 has to be Marty and sending it back to 7. And then this goal was just amazing. And by the way, this is the second time the Lightning have scored with seconds left on the clock against Montreal in the postseason. So Montreal knows about this.
I was there for that one too.
Well, maybe
So
bring you into the building more against Montreal.
yeah, so One final thing about this goal, Eric Erlinson, we love him on this channel. We've had him multiple
Yes.
times on this channel. Said it's one of the best goals in Stanley Cup Finals history. Eric, that might be a little bit much. Like, I understand it's a great goal, but hey, maybe history in a couple of years will prove him right. But for right now, I think as Lightning fans, we're really putting our goggles on and saying that that was one of the best goals we've ever seen. Hey, maybe it is in a couple of years, but for right now, we have the lead going into the third,
Yes,
and
we
the
do.
Lightning played a little bit better.
Yeah, they definitely played better than they did in the second, which was good. So you're going to the third period up 2-1, and the Lightning started to get more chances. They had a chance very early on in this one. I think Blake Coleman, despite having that goal late in the second period, was still frustrated with himself because he had two fantastic opportunities early in this first period. But credit to Carey Price and the Canadiens defense. They did a good job of defending it. But Lightning definitely had a couple good chances early on, but then the Canadiens, of course, made their best push as they knew that they did not want to go down 0-2 to Tampa in the start of these first two games. And but Andre Vasilevsky, unfortunately for the Canadiens, is in the net, and he is just he's the best goalie in the world. I still don't understand why he did not win the Vezina Trophy. It is still shocking to me, but nonetheless, he is proving people wrong again and again as he's making great saves left and right, making solid saves. As you mentioned, Michael, he let in that soft one, but then said, "Nope, no more of that," and he shut it down. Lightning defense did play well, I think, as well. They did pretty good job on some opportunities as well, and making sure that they didn't get any too great of opportunities. They still had some good one, the Canadiens, but as time would wind down, with about 4 minutes left to go, the Lightning would get one more insurance goal off a terrible turnover by the Canadiens. I can't remember who it was, but they threw it behind the net. I don't know if there was miscommunication there or what, but he basically passed it to a ghost. And Andre Palat said, "Thank you very much," and put it in the back of the net. Carey Price wasn't even ready for it because he was expecting just one of the Canadiens players to be able to pick it up and take it up ice. But Palat makes them pay for their mistake, and the Lightning are now up 3-1 in the third period. It would come down. Montreal tries to pull Carey Price to get at least one more on the board and have a shot, but they can't do it as Andre Vasilevsky and Lightning defense shut down the Canadiens for the rest of the game. And the Tampa Bay Lightning are now up 2-0 in the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in franchise history. I might add, the Lightning have always been 1-1 playing their first two games. So first time they've been able to go up 2-0, and it's another huge win for the Bolts.
A massive win for the Lightning. And that Andre Palat goal, we talked about how at the first period, the Canadians did a great job of making sure the Lightning got nothing, especially the first line got nothing. And I mentioned that somebody actually scored on that line. This was all Andre Palat. Like, this had nothing to do with Braden Point. This had nothing to do with Nikita Kucherov. Sometimes we don't talk how good Andre Palat can be on the forecheck. He's one guy. There are three guys in the Canadian zone. Miscommunication between Edmondson and Petrie. Palat is right there. And ultimately, that is a dagger if you're the Canadians because it goes off of Price and in. And again, in Amley, we didn't know that it originally went in because we were so shocked that there was an actual turnover
I don't think
and
anybody knew it went in.
led to a chance. But hey, I would love to see Palat be a lightning bolt for life. It feels weird to say lightning because lightning is not a noun, but or not whatever. I would love to see him be a Tampa Bay Lightning for life. That's what the announcers say. Um, all altogether, this was not a great game for the Lightning. But as we talked about earlier, it does not matter anymore how they play as long as they win.
Well,
Now, you
Michael,
cannot let this carry over to
right.
game three.
What do
But
I
game by game, go
what,
ahead.
sorry, what do I always say about games like this? What do I say about always what do teams need to do when they're playing a bad game? They have to find ways to win.
Yeah.
And the Lightning did exactly that, even when you're playing a tough game.
Yeah. And for the Canadians, They now have to win 4 of 5, not only against the Lightning, who are never going to play this bad in the Stanley Cup Finals again, but against Andre Vasilevsky, who is the best goal in the league. And it's not close. I don't care what the awards say. He's the best goalie in the league. And he proved it tonight.
Yeah.
You could say that you wanted him to stop that Suzuki shot. Okay, that makes sense. Like it was a really, really bad goal. But also, he stopped breakaways. He stopped odd man rushes. He was great tonight.
Absolutely.
So it would be in Montreal's best interest, especially going home for game 3 with the Canadian crowd and their head coach back. Dominic Ducharme is coming back off COVID protocol. It would be in their best interest to score early. So, Lightning, what does that mean? They have to score the first goal.
Well, they've got a pretty good record when they do that, so that would be ideal for them. But a huge win nonetheless for the Lightning to go up 2-0. So now game number 3 will be tomorrow as of this recording when this is being posted. That is going to be on a Friday. Friday, that is July 3rd or 2nd, excuse me, at 8 p.m. This one, again, as you mentioned, in Montreal. Canadiens are getting back their head coach. But the Lightning are looking good right now. If you're the Lightning, you're looking to win at least one game in Montreal to take a 3-1 series lead back to Tampa Bay. Obviously, you'd like to win the next two and just end it right away, but that'll be tough to do. Montreal is a good team. This series is not over until you have 4 wins and the clock has hit in zeros on that fourth win. So you can never give up. You can't sit back at any point. So big win for the Lightning despite not playing their best game. You know they're going to come out even stronger. And game 3 should be a ton of fun. And the Lightning could be 1 win away from a Stanley Cup if things go their way in game number 3.
Absolutely. I really hope that the Lightning win at home, but that also means that the Lightning would have to lose a game in Montreal, and I don't want to watch a loss. I want to keep winning.
Hey,
So if they
a 4 game sweep, which knock on wood, would be something special too. So, but either way, it'll be interesting. But that's going to do it for us, guys, in today's video. I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like down below. Helps us out here on the channel. Lets us know you're enjoying these videos. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that bell so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. Have a lot more coming your way. Hopefully, we'll have some very more exciting content in the next couple weeks here if the Lightning can finish strong here in the Stanley Cup Finals. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And remember, your Tampa Bay Lightning are now 2 wins away from being back-to-back Stanley Cup champions.
go Bolts.